Let's now give an example of an anxious-ambivalent attachment in the child-parent relationship. And we're going to use the same scenario we did as a secure attachment. So we have a 3-year-old and they're playing in the playground. They fall and they scrape their knee. And of course, they immediately start crying and run to their parent. Now, in this attachment, what would the parent's response be? Well, the parent is really inconsistent. So sometimes they will comfort their child. Sometimes they're just going to dismiss their child's feelings altogether. In this scenario, they're going to respond with frustration and they're going to say something like, "Oh, you're fine. Stop crying so much." And with this, what becomes the outcome, right? So you're going to have a child that is going to be even more distressed. They're going to be unsure whether their parent is going to comfort them or reject them. And over time, they may develop a clingy behavior, consistently seeking reassurance, but never fully feeling secure. Now, what I like to do when it comes to my clients' parents and they're struggling with some maybe parenting techniques, maybe it's yelling, sometimes it can be throwing things, or it can be just controlling their anger or even their anxiety, which, then gives off that energy to the child. But what I like to say is imagine that you're that 3-year-old kid, especially if you're just mirroring what you grew up with, right? So if we're mirroring what we grew up with, we know how we felt when we were that age. We know what we felt like as a teen. We know kind of what we felt like as a child. Maybe we don't fully remember. And just think of how you felt when your parent reacted this way. What kind of feelings did it bring to you? Were they good? Were they bad? Negative, positive, right? And if they don't feel very good, if your parent reacted this way, you didn't know how they were going to react on a constant basis, very inconsistent, how did that make you feel? Do you think it increased your anxiety as an adult today or as a teenager? And what are we going to do about this, right? We can really take steps to mitigate this and improve on our own child-parent relationships, where when your child gets hurt, if our instinct is to not comfort our child, we pause and remind ourselves, no, our child wants to be comforted. They want that love. Just like if I got hurt, stubbed my toe or something, right? I would want somebody to be like, "Oh, that really sucks. I'm so sorry." The child wants that too. And so it's really hard to try to stop and pause when we're thinking about our own stuff in our own heads and remind ourselves that we can take those few minutes because surely they will pass and we will never get them back. And we can comfort our child in the moment so that when they're older, they don't need to seek that comfort. They already know they're going to get it. So they can be like, "You know what? I bruised myself. I'm okay. If I need comfort, I can get it. And if I don't, I can give myself comfort and I can move forward." That's really what we want our children to be like. So my question to you is, do you struggle with this as an adult with your children? Are you mirroring an anxious ambivalent attachment from your own childhood, and are you producing it as well? I always like to say we're raised almost a decade in whatever environment we're raised in. And sometimes we tend to mirror that right away when we decide to go out on our own. And so it's not going to take you a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, maybe 2. You're actually really going to have to work on this consciously for maybe 5 years or more, just because we have literally been, doing this for over 2 decades. So yeah, drop a comment. Let's get the conversation started.